Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Vietnamese ebook before it's gone. Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1. Find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language, and for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2. Work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3. Learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Xin chào, tôi là Huyền. Tết cổ truyền là dịp lễ quan trọng nhất trong năm của người Việt Nam, diễn ra từ ngày 28 tháng Chạp đến ngày mùng 3 tháng Giêng theo âm lịch. Nếu cộng thêm các ngày lễ cuối tuần liền trước và sau đó, số ngày nghỉ trong dịp này có thể từ 7 đến 10 ngày và thường rơi vào cuối tháng 1, đầu tháng 2 dương lịch. Trong bài học này, tôi sẽ giới thiệu đến các bạn một số nét đặc trưng của ngày Tết Việt Nam. Vào ngày Tết, người Việt Nam thường hay ăn món ăn gì đặc biệt? Chúng tôi sẽ cho bạn biết đáp án vào phần cuối video này. Trong những ngày giáp Tết, nhà nhà đều bận rộn mua sắm, chuẩn bị cho dịp lễ trọng đại này. Các gia đình thường sắp xếp, sửa sang lại nhà cửa sao cho gọn gàng, ấm cúng và sẽ trang trí phòng khách bằng các loài hoa, cây biểu tượng cho ngày Tết Việt Nam như hoa mai, hoa đào, quất. Các thành viên trong gia đình sẽ sum họp đông đủ trong bữa tối tất niên. Trước đó, các gia đình thường đã chuẩn bị 2 mâm cỗ để cúng gia tiên và thần linh thổ địa vào lúc 0 giờ sáng mùng 1. Vào đúng thời khắc giao thừa, pháo hoa sẽ được bắn lên từ trung tâm thành phố. Những người dân ở đó sẽ lên nơi cao nhất của các tòa nhà để ngắm pháo hoa. Còn những người ở xa hơn thì thường đến địa điểm bắn pháo từ trước đó nhiều giờ để chiếm được vị trí đẹp hoặc có thể xem trực tiếp từ TV. Sau khi pháo hoa kết thúc, nhiều người sẽ đi hái cành lá non từ chùa về để lấy may về nhà. Tục lệ này gọi là hái lộc. Sang ngày đầu tiên của năm mới, người Việt Nam có phong tục chúc Tết. Con cháu sẽ chúc Tết ông bà, bố mẹ. Và người lớn thì thường mừng tuổi, tức tặng tiền để trong phong bì lì xì màu đỏ cho trẻ nhỏ và chúc. Hay ăn chóng lớn, vâng lời cha mẹ. Người ta thường hay nói, chúc mừng năm mới, hoặc chúc vạn sự như ý trong dịp này. Ngoài đến chúc Tết những người họ hàng thân thiết, mọi người còn đi lễ chùa và những ngày sau đó, người ta thường đến nhà hàng xóm, bạn bè chúc Tết và gặp gỡ, ăn uống. Người Việt tin rằng người đầu tiên bước vào nhà trong ngày mùng 1 Tết chính là người quyết định đem lại sự may mắn hoặc xui xẻo cho gia đình ấy trong cả năm. Người xông đất phải là người có tuổi âm lịch, hợp tuổi của chủ nhà. Và bây giờ, tôi sẽ cho bạn biết đáp án của câu đố đã nêu ra lúc trước. Vào ngày Tết, người Việt Nam thường hay ăn món ăn gì đặc biệt? Trong rất nhiều món ăn ngày Tết, bánh chưng và xôi gấc là 2 món ăn đặc biệt không thể thiếu khi mỗi dịp Tết đến. Ngoài ra, gà luộc, giò lụa và nem rán cũng là những món được bày trên mâm cỗ trong dịp lễ này. Bài học này thế nào? Các bạn đã học được nhiều điều thú vị chứ? Ở nước bạn có sử dụng lịch âm hay không? Hãy để lại ý kiến cho chúng tôi tại vietnamesepod101.com. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn vào bài học tiếp theo nhé!
Xin chào. Xin chào. Hello.
Xin chào. Hello. Okay, in Vietnamese, actually, we don't say good morning or good afternoon or good evening, but we only simply say xin chào to everybody, everywhere, every time. And if you want to be more polite, and you can put the subject before the word chào. For example, em chào anh, em chào chị, cháu chào bác, cháu chào cô. And we have so many subjects based on who you are and who you talk with. So that's why if you want to just remember how to say hello to people, you can just say xin chào. Xin chào, tôi là Linh. Xin chào. Xin chào.
Chào bạn. Chào bạn. Hi.
Chào bạn. And chào bạn is a closer and more friendly way to say hello to someone that you close or someone younger than you. And actually it sounds still very polite. And you can use both xin chào or chào bạn is very polite and is It's okay, it's very normal, it's very common. And you can put the pronouns behind the word chào. For example, chào anh, chào chị, chào bạn.
Tôi đến từ Mỹ. Tôi đến từ Mỹ. I come from America.
After saying hello, it's supposed to be where are you from, right? And you can answer by very simple way. Tôi đến từ Mỹ. I'm from America. Tôi đến từ Đức. I'm from Germany. Tôi đến từ and country. Tôi is me. Đến từ come from, and the last one is your country or your city where you're from. Tôi đến từ Hà Nội. I'm from Hà Nội. Xin chào, tôi là Linh. Tôi đến từ Hà Nội. Hello, this is Linh and I'm from Hà Nội.
Chúc ngủ ngon. Chúc ngủ ngon. Good night.
Chúc ngủ ngon you use when you want to say good night to someone before you go to sleep, or when you are chatting and texting and you want to inform them that this is my bedtime, I'm about to go to sleep and good night. You can say tôi chuẩn bị đi ngủ đây. Chúc bạn ngủ ngon. Tôi chuẩn bị đi ngủ đây. Chúc bạn ngủ ngon. I'm about to go to sleep. Good night. Or you can put the pronouns behind the word chúc to make it sound more friendly or more closer. For example, chúc em ngủ ngon. Chúc bạn ngủ ngon. Chúc mẹ ngủ ngon. Chúc ngủ ngon.
Tên bạn là gì? Tên bạn là gì? What's your name?
Tên bạn là gì? What's your name? Tên bạn là gì? This one is very common and very useful because every time you talk to someone you have to know their name, right? So you can say tên bạn là gì? Actually in English that means what is your name, right? But in Vietnamese it means bạn tên là gì? Your name is what? You put the pronouns and the subject before and the to be verb behind. Tên bạn là gì? Tên chị là gì? Tên anh là gì? Tên bạn là gì? Tên tôi là Linh. What is your name? My name is Linh. Tên bạn là gì? Tên tôi là Trang. What is your name? My name is Trang.
Tôi là I am.
Tôi là Linh. Okay, to answer the question what is your name, you can answer tôi là Linh. I am and your name behind. Tôi là Linh. Tôi là Thanh. Tôi là Thủy. I am Thanh or I am Thủy. I am something. My name is something. Tôi tên là Linh. My name is Linh. My name is Trang. Tôi tên là Trang. What's your name? My name is Linh. Tên bạn là gì? Tôi tên là Linh.
Rất vui được gặp bạn. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Nice to meet you.
Rất vui được gặp bạn. Nice to meet you. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Rất vui được gặp bạn is very common in Vietnamese because after saying hello or introduce where you're from, what is your name, you should say nice to meet you, right? So I will talk again from beginning. Xin chào, tôi là Linh. Tôi đến từ Hà Nội. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Hello, this is Linh. I'm from Hanoi and it's nice to meet you. That means nice to meet you or I'm glad to meet you. I'm glad to see you. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Or if you meet someone again one more time, you can say rất vui được gặp lại bạn. Rất vui được gặp lại bạn. It's nice to meet you again. Xin chào, tôi là Linh. Rất vui được gặp lại các bạn trong video này. Hello, this is Linh. It's nice to meet you in this video.
Bạn có khỏe không? Bạn có khỏe không? How are you?
Okay, after introducing yourself, what's your name? Where are you from? I'm from somewhere and nice to meet you. And you can say bạn có khỏe không if to ask if someone is doing well. Or you can change the pronouns. Chị có khỏe không? Anh có khỏe không? Chị or anh instead of bạn. Chị có khỏe không? Anh có khỏe không? Bạn có khỏe không? How are you? Xin chào, tôi là Linh. Rất vui được gặp bạn. Bạn có khỏe không? Hello, I'm Linh. It's nice to meet you. And how are you?
Tôi khỏe, cảm ơn bạn. Còn bạn? Tôi khỏe, cảm ơn bạn. Còn bạn? I'm fine, thanks, and you?
To answer the question how are you, you can say with your friend tôi khỏe, cảm ơn bạn. Còn bạn thì sao? I'm good, thanks, how are you? Or I'm good, thanks, and you? Tôi khỏe, cảm ơn bạn. Còn bạn? Tôi khỏe is I'm fine. Cảm ơn bạn is thank you. Còn bạn thì sao? Or còn bạn, and you, or how are you? So, tôi khỏe, cảm ơn bạn. Còn bạn? I'm fine, thanks, how are you?
Làm ơn. Làm ơn. Please.
Làm ơn. Làm ơn. Please. Okay, this one obviously we need to use all the time to be polite, right? And for example, làm ơn cho tôi một kem sô cô la. Làm ơn cho tôi một kem sô cô la. Can I have a chocolate ice cream please? Or làm ơn cho tôi mượn menu. Can I have a menu please? Làm ơn cho tôi mượn menu. Can I have a menu please? Làm ơn đến đúng giờ. Please come on time. Làm ơn đến đúng giờ. So don't forget it. Làm ơn. Làm ơn.
Cảm ơn. Cảm ơn. Thank you.
Cảm ơn. Cảm ơn. Thank you. Okay, so the rhyme is similar a little bit with the word please. Cảm ơn, làm ơn, right? But actually in English, the C sound is a little bit lighter than Vietnamese. In Vietnamese, you pronounce a bit stronger, heavy and clear, more clear, just like cảm ơn. Because some of my foreigners they pronounce come on or come on, but actually it's cảm ơn, just like K. So you pronounce stronger and clearer. Cảm ơn instead of come on. Cảm ơn. Cảm ơn.
Không có gì. Không có gì. You're welcome.
Không có gì. Không có gì. You are welcome or no problem. Không có gì. Actually, this one is a phrase. Is if you translate, không is no and có gì is yes. It's confused, right? But just use it. Không có gì. Cảm ơn bạn. Không có gì. Cảm ơn. Không có gì. It's not a big deal.
Vâng. Vâng. Yes.
Vâng. Yes. Vâng. Actually, the word yes mean vâng or có. Yes, I will do it, or yes, I want it. So if someone asks you, em có muốn ra ngoài ăn tối nay không? Do you want to have dinner together? Vâng. Yes. Em có muốn ra ngoài ăn tối nay không? Vâng. Or if someone asks you, do you want to party together? Em có muốn đi tiệc cùng nhau không? Có. Em có muốn đi tiệc cùng nhau không? Có. Yes, I want to, or yes, I will. So, vâng. Có is yes.
Không. Không. No.
Không. Không is no, and there's only one way to express the word no is không. So if someone asks you and if you don't want to go, don't want to do it, or you want to refill something, you can answer không. Em có muốn ra ngoài ăn tối cuối tuần này không? Em có muốn ra ngoài ăn tối cuối tuần này không? Do you want to have a dinner together this weekend? Không is no. I don't want to, or I will not. And also không is zero to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the word không means no and also zero.
Ok. Ok. Okay.
Okay is okay. Okay. Okay, Vietnamese use okay too, and someone pronounce okay or someone pronounce okay. But it's okay to say yes. Yeah, instead of yes, you can say okay or okay. But actually, if you want to pronounce really, really strong Vietnamese, you can say okay. Okay.
Xin lỗi. Xin lỗi. Excuse me.
Xin lỗi. Excuse me. Xin lỗi. Actually, this one you can use for both excuse me or I'm sorry, but this one is very easy and very simple and very common. So, for example, if you can say xin lỗi, ở đây có nhà vệ sinh không? Excuse me, there's restroom here. Or xin lỗi, làm ơn cho tôi đi. Excuse me, can I go? So yes, remember to use xin lỗi. It's very common and still polite. Don't worry.
Tôi xin lỗi. Tôi xin lỗi. I'm sorry.
Tôi xin lỗi. I'm sorry. Okay, this one sounds formal and very polite to say I am sorry or I very apologize. Tôi xin lỗi. So if you use xin lỗi only, you can use for excuse me or I'm sorry. But if you want to express that you really regret or you are very very sorry for something or something wrong that you've done, you can use tôi xin lỗi. Em xin lỗi, I'm sorry. Anh xin lỗi, I'm sorry. Tôi xin lỗi.
Bây giờ là mấy giờ? Bây giờ là mấy giờ? What time is it?
So if you are outside and you don't have watch, you don't have cell phone, and you want to ask what time is it, so you can come to anyone and say, xin lỗi, bây giờ là mấy giờ? Excuse me, what time is it? Xin lỗi, bây giờ là mấy giờ? And after they answer, bây giờ là 3 giờ, this is 3 o'clock. You can say, cảm ơn. Xin lỗi, bây giờ là mấy giờ? Bây giờ là 4 giờ. Cảm ơn.
Nhà vệ sinh ở đâu? Nhà vệ sinh ở đâu? Where is the restroom?
Nhà vệ sinh ở đâu? Nhà vệ sinh ở đâu? Where's the restroom? So in the mall or in the place you've never been to and you don't know where's the restroom, you can approach anyone and say, xin lỗi, nhà vệ sinh ở đâu? Excuse me, where's the restroom? Or xin lỗi, toilet ở đâu? Excuse me, where's the toilet? And after they show you where is the restroom and where the way to go there, you can say, cảm ơn. Xin lỗi, nhà vệ sinh ở đâu? Đi hướng này. Cảm ơn.
Đợi tôi một chút. Đợi tôi một chút. Wait a moment.
Đợi tôi một chút. Wait a moment. Đợi tôi một chút. Wait a moment. In Vietnamese, this means wait me for a moment. Đợi tôi một chút. So you also can say đợi một chút. Wait a moment. Đợi tôi một chút. Đợi một chút. Đợi tôi một chút. Wait me for a moment.
Cái này bao nhiêu tiền? Cái này bao nhiêu tiền? How much is this?
Cái này bao nhiêu tiền? How much is this? So when you are buying or shopping something and before you decide to buy, you should kindly say, cô ơi, cái này bao nhiêu tiền? Ma'am, how much is this? Or chú ơi, cái này bao nhiêu tiền? Sir, how much is this? Because Vietnamese people really like foreigners, especially when they can speak a little bit Vietnamese. So maybe they can have discount for you. So don't forget. Cô ơi, cái này bao nhiêu tiền? And if you got discount from them, you can say cảm ơn.
Tính tiền cho tôi. Tính tiền cho tôi. Could I get a check, please?
Tính tiền cho tôi. Excuse me, could I have a check, please? Tính tiền cho tôi. So after finishing your meal or after you decide to buy something, you can say, xin lỗi, làm ơn tính tiền cho tôi. Excuse me, could I have a check, please? Xin lỗi, làm ơn thanh toán cho tôi. Excuse me, can I pay, please? So you can use both. Tính tiền cho tôi, thanh toán cho tôi. Could I get a check, please? Can I pay, please? Xin lỗi, làm ơn tính tiền cho tôi.
Cứu tôi với. Cứu tôi với. Help.
Cứu tôi với. Help me. Cứu tôi với. I really hope that you don't have to use it when you are traveling in Vietnam, but just in case you really need someone's help or you are really in tough situations, you should say cứu tôi với, and you should say it very very clear, because if you don't pronounce it correctly, then maybe nobody's know that what you want or what you need. So you should say cứu tôi với. Cứu tôi với. Cứu tôi với.
Hẹn gặp lại. Hẹn gặp lại. See you later.
Hẹn gặp lại. See you later. Hẹn gặp lại. So the conversation or the meeting is going to be the end, and you want to say that goodbye, I want to see you again, or goodbye, hope to see you again. You can say hẹn gặp lại. Hẹn gặp lại is I want to see you again, or see you later, see you next time. Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi video và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở video tiếp theo. Thank you so much for watching the video and see you in the next video. Bye. Tạm biệt. No, not yet, don't go.
Tạm biệt. Tạm biệt. Goodbye.
Tạm biệt. Goodbye. Tạm biệt. Yeah, I know this one is a bit hard for foreigners because you don't have this accent in English, but actually this sound is very common in Vietnamese. So you better practice, and time to time, slowly, you will get used to it. Tạm biệt. Tạm biệt. But actually, if you really cannot pronounce this one, then you can say xin chào instead, because yeah, it's okay, it's not a big deal. Xin chào, tạm biệt, you can use to say hello or goodbye. But actually, only tạm biệt is for goodbye. But you can use xin chào for both. Xin chào, hello and goodbye. Xin chào, tạm biệt. Xin chào các bạn, mình là Linh, rất vui được gặp lại các bạn. Hi everyone, my name is Ling and welcome back to VietnamesePod101.com, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Vietnamese. Are you traveling to Vietnam soon? If so, then I'm gonna share you guys some tips and some helpful phrases that you might encounter at the airport. So let's get started. Remember that all the staff at the airport can speak English, so it's very easy to communicate with them. But if you really want to practice Vietnamese, then you can start by saying hello and introduce yourself as well as where you're from. For example, xin chào. Xin chào. Xin chào. Tôi tên là. Tôi tên là. Tôi tên là. And tôi đến từ. Tôi đến từ. Tôi đến từ. Sounds good? Okay, now let's talk a little bit about some common things at the airport. Nowadays, there are many countries that don't need visa to travel to Vietnam. For example, Switzerland, Norway, England, France, and Russia, etc. And you actually can stay up to 30 days, depends on your country. Okay, so please check carefully before you come. For liquid, you can only bring maybe small bottles, not over 100 ml, and in total, not over 1 liter. So I think for duty-free stuff, it's okay, but for if you only have carry-on stuff, then just make sure that you have small bottle only. After introducing yourself, there are some questions that you might ask the staff there. For example, where the check-in gate is and where you can check your flight status. So in this situation, you can use one question. Xin lỗi. Làm ơn cho tôi hỏi. That means, excuse me, can I ask? Xin lỗi. Làm ơn cho tôi hỏi. Xin lỗi. Làm ơn cho tôi hỏi. Xin lỗi, làm ơn cho tôi hỏi. Okay, if you want to ask where the check-in gate is, you can say xin lỗi, làm ơn cho tôi hỏi. Cửa check-in cho chuyến bay ở đâu? Xin lỗi, làm ơn cho tôi hỏi. Cửa check-in cho chuyến bay ở đâu? Also, there are some questions that you may hear at the airport, and if you really want to practice your Vietnamese, then when you hear from English, you can say in Vietnamese. For example, what is the purpose of your trip? You can just say, tôi đi du lịch. Tôi đi du lịch. Tôi đi du lịch. It means I'm traveling. If you are traveling, and if you are on a business trip, then you can say tôi đi công tác. Tôi đi công tác. Tôi đi công tác. Okay, so what is the purpose of your trip? Tôi đi du lịch. What is the purpose of your trip? Tôi đi công tác. Very good. The next question that you may hear is, are you traveling alone? So in this situation, you can say, không, tôi đi với bạn. For no. Again. Không, tôi đi với bạn. Tôi đi với bạn means no, I go with my friend. Okay, for no. But for yes, if you're traveling alone, then you can say vâng, tôi đi một mình. Vâng, tôi đi một mình. Now let's practice. Are you traveling alone? Không, tôi đi với bạn. Vâng, tôi đi một mình. Where will you stay in Vietnam? So if you have the address already of the hotel or of your friend's house or at any places, then you can just say tôi sẽ ở khách sạn. Tôi sẽ ở khách sạn means I'll stay at the hotel. If you want to give more information, then you can just say tôi sẽ ở khách sạn trên đường. And then you put the address. One more time. Tôi sẽ ở khách sạn trên đường. Okay. The last question that you may encounter, which is how long will you stay in Vietnam? So in this situation, you can just say tôi sẽ ở một tuần. I will stay for 1 week. Tôi sẽ ở một tuần. Tôi sẽ ở một tuần. Or if you want to stay for a month, then you can say tôi sẽ ở một tháng. Tôi sẽ ở một tháng means I'll stay for a month. Okay? Okay, that's all for today. I hope it's helpful and you can find something easily to practice. And next time if you come to Vietnam, remember that you can speak English. But if you really want to show that you've learned something before coming here, so please use what we learned today, okay? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe the channel, and visit the website VietnamesePod101.com and get your free lifetime account right now. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you next time. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại.
Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Hi, I'm Giang. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Vietnamese expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Vietnamese. There are only 2 sentences you need to remember. You will first learn a neutral way to introduce yourself, which sounds okay in both formal and informal situations. Let's first see how Vietnamese people generally introduce themselves. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Hi, I'm Giang. Nice to meet you. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Start by saying xin chào, tôi là. Then say your name. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Finally say rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Let's break this down and see what it means. Xin chào means hi or hello, and it is used in both formal and informal situations. It can also be used at any time of the day, though the equivalents of good morning, good afternoon, and good evening do exist. Vietnamese people don't normally use them in their daily conversation. So you have to remember only 2 words. Xin chào. Isn't it convenient? Tôi là Giang. That's how Vietnamese people introduce themselves. Tôi là is similar to I am, and you simply need to add your name to this. Though there's a more formal way to introduce your name in Vietnamese, which I'll mention later. Using tôi là plus your name is neutral and sounds okay in any circumstances. Tôi là Giang. Pretty easy, right? And now, let's look at the last sentence. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Rất vui means I'm very happy, and được làm quen với bạn means to get to know you or to get acquainted with you. Vietnamese people usually look forward to a closer relationship in the future, so they tend to say, I'm happy to get to know you, rather than just, I'm happy to meet you. So again, rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Let's put everything together. Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. Hi, I'm Giang. Nice to meet you. Not very difficult, right? Well, as I mentioned earlier, there's a more formal way to introduce yourself in Vietnamese. That is, xin chào, tôi tên là Giang. Rất hân hạnh được làm quen với bạn. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these together. Notice that the word xin chào doesn't change, but the way you say your name is longer. One more word is added. Tôi tên là instead of tôi là. So instead of saying I am, you say my name is. Tôi tên là Giang. My name is Giang. And the last sentence. Rất hân hạnh được làm quen với bạn. It's my pleasure to get to know you. So unless you go to Vietnam for business, it is advisable that you stick to the previous introduction. One more time. The general way to introduce yourself in Vietnamese is Xin chào, tôi là Giang. Rất vui được làm quen với bạn. The formal way to introduce yourself is Xin chào, tôi tên là Giang. Rất hân hạnh được làm quen với bạn. In the last lesson, we learned how to be grateful to people by saying cảm ơn. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Vietnamese. Bạn đã sẵn sàng chưa? Are you ready? Chúng ta cùng bắt đầu nhé. So, let's start. The general greeting in Vietnamese is Xin chào. Xin chào. Xin chào means hi or hello and is used when we meet each other. As I already mentioned in the first lesson, you can say Xin chào in both formal and informal situations as well as at any time of the day. Vietnamese people do not distinguish which part of the day they are meeting when greeting each other. So such words as good morning, good afternoon, or good evening are basically not in use. When leaving, we say tạm biệt. Tạm biệt. Tạm biệt literally means goodbye and is considered both formal and informal. Finally, see you soon in Vietnamese is hẹn gặp lại. And again, it is used both formally and informally. The more intimate way to say see you soon is hẹn gặp lại nhé. Nhé literally has no meaning. It is added at the end just to make the sentence more natural and melodious. Hẹn gặp lại. Hẹn gặp lại nhé. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Vietnamese. Let's review them all again. When meeting each other at any time of day, xin chào. When leaving, tạm biệt. When we will see the other person again, hẹn gặp lại. Hẹn gặp lại nhé. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Zhang's insights. A more natural way to greet someone is to remove the word xin and just say chào with a pronoun appropriate for the listener. Vietnamese language consists of a complicated system of pronouns which vary according to gender, age, and the closeness of the relationship. For example, chào bạn. Chào anh. Chào chị. Chào em. Chào chú. Chào bác. Chào cô. Well, this sounds complex, right? But once you learn more, you'll find them interesting. Anyway, the easiest and safest way to greet someone is saying xin chào and just that. Pretty convenient, isn't it? In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Vietnamese. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, This phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking in Vietnamese, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if the answer is no. First, here's the informal way to say it. Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Let's break it down. Bạn is the equivalent of you in Vietnamese. But as I mentioned in previous lessons, the Vietnamese language has a complicated system of pronouns, and the way you address the person you're speaking to depends on gender, age, and how close a relationship you have with him or her. Bạn is the most general pronoun you can use in this case because it can refer to someone younger than you, someone about your age, or someone several years older than you. Có biết nói literally means knows how to speak, and tiếng Anh means English. So the sentence can literally be translated as, do you know how to speak English? Or, can you speak English? Finally, did you notice the last word of the question? Không literally means no in Vietnamese, but when it is added at the end of a statement, a yes-no question is formed. It is a grammatical point that you will learn in more details later. Now, let's practice the question one more time. Bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? We are now going to make this sentence formal. It is very simple. You just need to add 2 more words at the beginning of the previous question and keeping the rest unchanged. Xin hỏi, bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Xin hỏi, bạn có biết nói tiếng Anh không? Xin hỏi means exactly the same as excuse me. When you add these words at the beginning of any question, it becomes more polite. The responses you will receive could be any one of these 3. Có, yes. Có. Một chút thôi, a little. Một chút thôi. Không, tôi không biết nói tiếng Anh. No, I don't speak English. Không, tôi không biết nói tiếng Anh. Since this last one is a negative statement, the verb is the opposite of the verb used in the question. The question asks, do you know? Có biết. And the answer is, don't know. Không biết. The subject has also been changed from bạn, you, to tôi, I, and the question word at the end, không, is omitted. Again, the complete answer is, không, tôi không biết nói tiếng Anh. No, I don't speak English. Now, it's time for Zhang's insights. If you still remember the list of pronouns I mentioned in the last lessons, you can choose a suitable pronoun for the person you're talking to instead of using bạn in the question. But when you're talking to an older person, the word ạ is added at the end of the question to show respect. For example, anh có biết nói tiếng Anh không ạ? Chị có biết nói tiếng Anh không ạ? Bác có biết nói tiếng Anh không ạ?
Hey guys, it's Ling. Welcome back to VietnamesePod101.com, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Vietnamese. Are you a foodie person? Do you like exploring new drinks and food when you go traveling? If yes, maybe this video is for you because today we're going to talk about some famous drinks in Vietnam. Now let's get started. The first one that I want to introduce to you guys is a drink, a kind of alcohol that maybe you can only find in Vietnam. It's super affordable, super light, it's very I wouldn't say tasty, but it's very relaxing when drinking this drink on the pavement in the old quarters. We call bia hơi. Bia hơi, bia hơi, bia hơi. So bia hơi sorry. Bia hơi. So bia hơi is like a very light beer that you can find anywhere on the pavement, especially you are in the old quarters, the center of Hanoi, or in Bùi Viện, the center of Ho Chi Minh City, the tourist area. So basically this is a kind of beer that is very light, is very affordable, and they will have a very big tank. They store the beer inside, and when you order, they will just pull it out. The most interesting thing about this bia hơi is because the environment. Mostly it will not be served in fancy restaurants or something like that. But usually we drink bia hơi on the pavements, on some street food shops or restaurants that you can easily find in tourist areas. I think each glass of bia hơi costs around 7,000 to 10,000, which is less than $1, and you can enjoy it for like half an hour or an hour. And usually when I go drinking bia hơi with my friends or relatives, we will spend a lot of time, like a few hours on the pavement from like 7 or 8 p.m. until midnight, just gossiping and talking and chatting. So it's so much fun. You must try it when you go to Vietnam. The next one I want to introduce is something very healthy and is everywhere from the center to the south of Vietnam, which is nước dừa. Nước dừa. Nước dừa. Nước dừa, okay? Nước is water, dừa is coconut. Basically, this is coconut juice. But the interesting thing is it's very, very cheap in Vietnam. You can easily find anywhere when you travel from the center of Vietnam to the south. In Hanoi, it's a little bit more expensive because they have to transfer from the south to the north. But when you travel in the south, it's very affordable. It's actually only like 15 to 20,000 per coconuts, so it's still less than $1, and it's super healthy. The next one is also very affordable and popular in Vietnam, which is nước mía. Nước mía. Nước mía. Nước mía is sugar cane juice. It's everywhere in Vietnam. It's on the streets, it's on the highway, it's in every kind of restaurants, no matter it's a fancy one or a street food restaurant. So you can easily find this nước mía. Basically, one glass of nước mía costs only around 5,000 to 10,000. In the north, it's a little bit more expensive because we have winter and summer. But in the south, it's summer the whole year, so you can easily find everywhere, especially when you are running or walking on the street or after exercising, and just grab a glass of nước mía anywhere, and then you can feel more energetic. The next one I want to introduce to you guys is something very, very, very popular. Talking about Vietnam, we will talk about cà phê. Cà phê. Cà phê. Cà phê is coffee. Very easy, right? Cà phê. We export coffee a lot, and we have so many kinds of coffee, but the most popular one I think is cà phê sữa đá. Cà phê sữa đá. Cà phê sữa đá. Cà phê sữa đá basically is a combination between thick coffee, ice, and some condensed milk. Why is very different and special? Because in Vietnam, the coffee itself is very, very thick and strong. If this is the first time for you to try cafe in Vietnam, you better be careful because you might not be able to sleep at night. So it's better if you drink coffee in the morning right after your breakfast, because if before breakfast, maybe you will get a little bit dizzy, like you're a little bit drunk when you drink alcohol. So this is why Vietnamese coffee is very, very special and very popular everywhere. This is a must try, okay? If you come to Vietnam, please try cà phê sữa đá. And it's so cheap as well. It's only like 15-20,000 Vietnam dong, which is still less than $1. In some maybe fancy restaurants, they can serve cà phê sữa đá with 30 or 40,000, which is like 1.5 or $2. The best experience trying cà phê sữa đá for me is after breakfast, having cà phê sữa đá on the pavements in the old quarters. There are many mini shops like that you can try, and you will really feel the vibe of Hanoi in the morning. So peaceful. Also, another version of cà phê sữa đá, we have bạc xỉu. Bạc xỉu. Bạc xỉu. This is like a lighter version of cà phê sữa đá for people who can't drink that strong or thick coffee. So basically, we will put some more fresh milk, some condensed milk, some coconut juice, coconut milk, and we mix everything well with some ice. It's very tasty as well. It's a little bit more expensive than cà phê sữa đá, but it's worth it to try. There is one kind of drink that is very popular in Vietnam too, super cheap, and there are many versions of this drink, which is trà. 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 Trà means tea, and we have so many different kinds of tea, which is trà sữa, trà sữa, trà sữa, milk tea, trà sữa, trà đào, trà đào, trà đào, peach tea with the real peach, trà chanh, trà chanh, trà chanh. So as you will see, trà we have TR, and chanh we have CH. They are a little bit different, slightly different. Trà TR is a little bit stronger, and the CH one, it's softer and it's lighter. Trà chanh. So it's like ch for TR and ch for TH. This is how we pronounce these two sounds correctly, but in spoken Vietnamese, we will make it like almost similar. Trà chanh, trà chanh, something like that. But if you really want to pronounce like exactly like Vietnamese speaker, then trà chanh, trà chanh. Trà chanh is a version of this drink in the north, in Hanoi, and trà tắc is the version of this drink in the south, in Ho Chi Minh City. Trà tắc, trà tắc. The last one I want to introduce to you guys is a little bit strong, and maybe some alcoholic will really like it, because this is rượu. 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 Okay, if you really want to pronounce this one correctly, it'll be rượu. Rượu. But for Vietnamese people, when we pronounce the R sound, we will not pronounce like R in English, but we pronounce like Z sound in Vietnamese, or in English, rượu. Or for example, like rau, we also pronounce like z, rau, vegetables. So rượu. The reason why rượu is very, very popular in Vietnam, because it's also very, very strong. I think it's as strong as vodka or tequila. And the most interesting thing is it's so much more delicious. It's so much tastier The thing is, you will keep drinking until you really get drunk without knowing or without even noticing. So we have a lot of kinds of rượu. For example, rượu nếp, they made from rice. Rượu nếp. Also, we have rượu táo mèo. Rượu táo mèo. Rượu táo mèo. Táo mèo is a kind of apple that you can only find in the wood. Rượu táo mèo, and this one is also very, very, very tasty. I have to say that. I've tried so many times. My dad even has like a big jar of rượu táo mèo that he made it, and we drink every once in a while. It's so tasty. Once I bought a bottle of táo mèo from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh City, and my friend and I all got drunk because of that wine. But it's fun. Okay, so that's all for today. An interesting topic. I really enjoy it. How about you? If you have any recommendations or any comments, please let me know at the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe the channel, and visit the website VietnamesePod101.com to learn more Vietnamese with Linh and other hosts. Thank you so much again. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice. unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Vietnamese ebook before it's gone.